Diversity. Right now, we want to do some in-depth analysis on not only the race, but her speech. With that is Troy.
And we're joined by Adam Kinsey, who is a Democratic consultant. Thank you for being here, Adam. I appreciate it. And while I'm sure the presidential race was disappointing here in Arizona, there have been some good Democratic successes. So let's talk about both. First of all, what are your thoughts on the speech from Kamala Harris?
I mean, I thought it was exactly what the nation needs. She needed to explain that this is a peaceful transition of power. This is how we do it in the United States. But also, she didn't pull her punch when she said, we're continuing this fight, though. The struggle remains. And so while we can be gracious and we can have a peaceful transition of power, we are not giving up the fight for this country. And I think she struck both chords very well.
Surprisingly big win for Donald Trump at this point. I know it's too early, really, to diagnose what happened. I mean, but if you could do it in a nutshell, what are you looking at?
I mean, it's the first time the popular vote has gone to a Republican in a very long time. So I think there were a lot of different groups that he overperformed with that historically had been more Democratic. And I think overall, an economic anxiety message was the one that carried the day, and worries over inflation certainly were enough to get some of the working class voters that Democrats typically count on to go his way. And he was doing a great job of making sure that his base turned out by talking about some of those sort of darker issues.
Yeah, and even though Donald Trump looks like he may be taking Arizona, Ruben Gallego looks like he may be taking his race.
Sure, absolutely. And I think this just goes to the nature of, ticket splitting is not uniquely Arizonan. I mean, there are a lot of places where they voted for abortion ballot referendums, and then voted for an anti-choice president or anti-choice governor or what have you. So there's a lot of contradiction in voters, and it's really difficult to sort of dissect and figure out, get into the mind of an undecided voter, get into the mind of somebody who votes for Donald Trump, the Abortion Initiative 139, and Ruben Gallego. There are a lot of those folks in Arizona, and it's going to be our job as political analysts to figure out how we go and message them next time around.
And then how do you do that? I mean, I know it takes time, right, to really dig in and find out who your voters are, who do something like that.
Exactly. I mean, you look at the what we call the precinct level data, and we try to model and try to figure out what that kind of voter looks like. What's their age, what's their gender, what's their ethnicity, what part of town are they from, what issues that drove them to vote for Donald Trump and Ruben Gallego. And again, there's over 100,000 of them right now. So you just need to really dive deeply in to figure out what issues motivated them on both sides.
30 seconds. Is that just the nature of Arizona? I mean, we're pulling people from all over the country to move here.
Yeah.
Very different ideas, right? They're bringing their own ideas
Absolutely. And this is nothing new. I mean, you go back to 2006 when Janet Napolitano won re-election nearly with 2/3 of the vote. John Kyle also won his election very convincingly. So we had tens of thousands of John Kyle and Janet Napolitano voters, which, if those of you that remember back that far, that seems sort of incompatible. But so we have a long history of ticket splitting in Arizona, and I think it's more popular around the country now as well.
Adam Kinsey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Good insight. Tram.